Hey, it's a good day, everyone, and I'm Russ Johns, your host of Future Media TV, and my co-host, lovely partner in crime, Marion LaSalle, and we have a very special guest today, a very special guest, Lynn, is it Schussler Williams?
It's Schussler Williams.
Okay, well, thank you so much for being here, and why don't you tell us a little bit about you and yourself and what you're doing and what your favorite thing is, your favorite project is today?
So I am a solopreneur. I'm the indie sales coach. I'm also the author of a little book called 9 Little Words to Change Your Results. And I'm really excited because this week, the second edition of my book is coming out. So it'll be available probably the end of the week on Amazon again. It's a great little book. If I do say so myself, it's a little book. I'm done reading books that make my head hurt. So
it's 9 little words to change your results?
Yes.
That's fantastic.
It's a book that you can carry in your jacket pocket or your bag really easily. People tell me they read it every time they get on airplanes. I have a friend who just leaves it in their carry-on bag. And
I love that size of book.
Yeah.
So
it's a one-flight book.
So can we talk about what those 9 words are today?
Sure. Yeah.
Before we move on, I want to say that I think that as a society, at least here in the United States, we are moving to one problem, one solution. We are moving towards just give me one thing to think about. Just give me one problem or one solution or one thing that I need to try, one idea. And I really think that that's helping us because there's so many things coming in at us now that, so having a short little book like that with one solution to our problems.
I love it.
Exactly. I think that's probably why it's so popular and why we want to shout it out to the world for you, Lynn.
Yeah. Thank you.
I want to get a copy.
It is absolutely.
Where do I get it? Amazon?
True that we have so much coming at us. We have so much, even solutions. Like there's so much out there. This little book for me was a result of 30 plus years of personal development and spiritual development, all that sort of stuff, trying to put the pieces together for like, how does this life really work? And this is kind of my distilled down like tool. That's my favorite go-to tool in my toolbox when, I'm not getting the results I want in some area. It can be work. It can be my business. It can be my sales results. I do webinars on 9 little words to change your sales results because they work great for all my clients in that respect. But it can be I'm not getting the results I want in my relationships or my financial life or whatever it is, because what we know is it all starts right here.
Right.
Yeah.
It all starts in the beginning. So I'm curious, Lynn, and this is how I'm thinking through this process when I think of 9 little words is kind of like this anchor where it's a safe place, where you start getting off on tangents and then you lose track of what you're doing or what you're thinking or, and then life just kind of happens and all of a sudden it's chaos and chaotic. And then you can always come back to the 9 little words and say, okay, I need to just focus on what I need to focus on.
Absolutely true. And they help us create habits that support exactly that. They help us. The 9 little words, I should say, are not 9 separate steps. They're 3 short phrases. So they're 3 word phrases. So way easier than 9 whole steps. Like I'm not remembering 9 things. Okay. That's not it.
So how do you break them out typically when you teach?
So it starts with, what are you thinking that's holding you back? So many, many thought leaders have taught us that behind every negative result, behind every stressful event in our lives, there's a unexamined thought. That's a Byron Katie quote almost. So we start with that. What are we thinking that's holding us back. I'm not good enough. I'm not fast enough, slow enough, tall enough, skinny enough, fat enough, blue enough, whatever. We
Stinking
start
thinking.
with I'm not good at. Whatever the thought is that's reining us in, we start with that. And the first three little words are up until now. So we put that in front of whatever the limiting belief is.
Okay.
So up until now, I haven't been good at handling money. Up until now, I haven't been brave enough to do what I really want to do, right? And so instead of that contracting energy of the I can't or I'm not statement, we have this expansive up until now, and it lets us say that may be true. You know, how many of us have heard about affirmations and somebody says, you know, I need to lose 50 pounds, so I'm going to walk around saying I'm in the best shape of my life.
Yeah.
And every time you say that, you think, that's a lie. Right?
Or, I'm trying to do this.
Yes.
I'm trying to do that.
Right. I'm on a diet again. I'm going to try again.
I'm trying to diet.
Yes. So up until now, I haven't lost my 50 pounds. And we're no longer lying about it. We're saying this is the way it's been. Up until this point, it's been like that. So we no longer feel like we're lying to ourselves. And at the same time, we're implying it's going to be different. So we're literally programming our brain to go, yeah, this is how it's been. And now I'm expecting different results.
That's fantastic. You know, can I tell you that when I used to smoke cigarettes, I had a similar aha moment. It runs right along that. And I think your words really hit home for a lot of people. So my words were, oh, that's right. I forgot. I'm a non-smoker now. So I think you're right. You have to change how your brain feels about it. Like, you know, you can't live in the, oh, I'm going to, or I'm trying. It's up until now, that really makes sense. That does tell your brain, gee whiz, I need to do something different now.
Right, right. And then the second three little words are, I am willing.
Oh.
So I am, and you know, then you fill in your blank. And for me, I am willing is usually a bullet point list. I'm a bullet point list maker from way back. So my I am willing is never just one thing. It might be I'm willing to change how I think about it. It might be I'm willing to quit telling myself that stuff. I'm willing, but then it's action steps. So I am willing adds action to affirmation.
So it's I am willing, and then the action that takes place.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So what are you willing to do to change it?
Yeah.
So Lynn, let's dive right into how you're marketing this book. Tell us what's working for you.
Tell us what's working.
So let me tell you about this. This book for me, I'm a speaker and a coach, and I really wrote this book as a business card. And what I mean when I say that is when you're a speaker and you're trying to get people to invite you to come speak to their group, they love doing it more if you have a book to talk about. So this little book was my calling card. This little book, that's its function originally in my business model and in my marketing. It's really, truly been that and so much more. Like I can't even tell you the degree to which that's worked. So all you speakers out there, my life changed when someone said to me, you can write a little book.
Yeah.
Because I thought I had to write, you know, this big old thing.
Read a little bit. Yes, it's working for both sides. It's working for us who don't want a big thick book to read that takes us a year. I'm a slow reader, so don't give me this thing that's going to take me, 6 months to read. That is awesome. I love that. So, so you use it at your events that you're actually showing up to speak. They're having you there to speak. What about online? Are you doing any online marketing?
I haven't done a lot of big marketing online. I mean, it's been there. It's been at Amazon. That's what you have to do is make it available to people easily. But as far as really trying to create huge numbers of sales for the book itself, that really wasn't my goal. So I didn't spend a lot of time and effort on that. And it was interesting how the second edition came about. And so that may shift this a little bit, Marion. This whole second edition thing happened originally because my publisher sold that part of their business. And so I was going to have to change the logo of the publisher on the cover and change published by inside. And I thought, okay, well, it's time to change one or two other things too, right? While we're changing the file, as it were. And the funniest part of that story is that there was a Bill Cosby quote in the book.
Oh.
And so I decided it was time to change that. Right, get rid of the Bill Cosby quote. Funny. And when I tell you what the Bill Cosby quote was, you'll think it's funnier.
Oh my God.
It said, it was in the section about making a decision and the power of deciding for something. And he said, you have to want it more than you're afraid of it. So, yeah, that really had to go.
Yeah.
Really bad quote.
That's a great edit, Lynn.
Yeah.
It worked for him at the time, didn't it? But,
and it was a great quote until it wasn't.
Yeah.
Oh, my heck. So Lynn, in the marketing efforts, in speaking and coaching, and do you find that there's a path that people are on right now where they're searching for certain things, or they're asking for certain things, or clarity in what we're doing, and how has that impacted your business in the last, say, couple of years? Because Marion and I have been on this journey for networking and speaking, and we have a couple of books out, and it's really interesting to see how it's changed over the last couple of years. Can you talk about your marketing effort then?
Absolutely, and not just mine, but my client. My sales coaching clients are like us. They're speakers, they're coaches, they're consultants, they're authors, they're solopreneurs and very small businesses. And their questions have changed. Their challenges have changed. The biggest area is social media. People come to me all the time, and I'm not a social media expert by any means. I'm a social media participant, but I don't teach social media. But that's the biggest change is, people aren't stuck with their little marketing tools that, were paper, and they aren't, it's a whole new world. We've expanded how marketing works so much.
Look at what the platform that we're on. I mean, we're having this conversation and it's public. It's like going down to the town square and saying, hey, I'm going to have a conversation in front of everybody, right?
Yes.
And it's open to the entire world.
Yes.
I mean, imagine that power and what it does to a message that is like yours. You have a book, you have a message, you have a story, you have a platform. It's pretty powerful when you think about it in those terms.
Think about how people search nowadays. Once upon a time,
way back in the day.
Up until now.
Up until now, that's right. We had to read about somebody in a newspaper, a magazine, an article, see them on, the news, where somebody with a microphone held it in front of their face and said, okay, you can speak now. Okay, forget it. I don't want you to speak anymore. And that was it. That was all the chance that we had to get our word out, right? Or we had to do something really horrific to get attention. But now all you have to do is turn your mic on, turn your camera on, and hit the button that says go, and we can speak to the world. People can tune in any place they have internet.
Absolutely.
And don't forget, People like to search on Google for you. So all they have to know is your name, and they can type in and see where you are and follow you anywhere.
It's
pretty
amazing. Cool. You know, I remember the first time someone told me they had Googled me. It was about, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago. And this woman that I went to high school with, who I hadn't seen in decades, called me on the phone, found my phone number, and she called me and she said, "Oh my gosh, I Googled you. I'm so proud of you." And I thought, oh my God, what does it say?
What did I do?
But now we all, it's a given. You know, we're out there and
it's automatic.
It is automatic. It is automatic. The other thing that clients come to me related to that, and related to their marketing too, is how much we're out there and the impact of identity theft and that sort of thing has on solopreneurs, and, you know, what happens if it happens and how to deal with it. So that's a whole nother piece of my business that is related to that, because my clients keep coming up with, our information is just out there.
Right.
And
what's the number one request you get asked for?
The number one thing is by far, how do I answer the question, what do you do? Just the message, right? So I help them figure out how to answer that question over.
Okay, so many of us, I'd say probably 98% of us go, okay, I do this and I do that. How am I gonna fit it all into 30 seconds, right?
Yes, and it impacts your marketing so much. If you can't be in conversation with someone and give an intelligent answer to, "Hey, Marion, what do you do?" then you're not going to be able to formulate your marketing message. You're not going to know what to say on social media. You're not going to, it's the beginning. It's the seed of all of it.
That's right. I usually go, "Oh, I'm in the tech industry, or IT or something," and they go, "Oh, okay," and then they walk away. So I got to learn a better one than that.
Yeah, that's right. Nobody wants to talk to you anymore, Marion. When you say that, their eyes glaze over. I know, because I used to sell technology. That was my corporate sales career, and the second you start talking technology speak, they're like,
eyes glaze over, and it's almost like saying I'm a CPA, right?
Yeah.
Or I'm an attorney.
It's
worse. It's like, so what we can do is start saying we change lives.
Yes.
We change lives. We impact your future. I don't know. There's a lifelong it's an evolution I see is how the markets change and how the media is changing and everything else. Right now, it's so dynamic that it's just, I love it because I'm such a curious person. I love learning. So it's amazing to see how different people react to it. Some people react in fear. Some people react in excitement, like Christmas morning. What's coming next? I can't wait to see what's happening next. That's me. So
I'm a little bit in between, I have to say. I jump in there early, I'm here.
Yeah, you are here.
I'm here. So, but I also understand that feeling of, there's one more thing for me to learn, right? There's one more thing for me to manage. I understand that feeling. I really do. But I also love to connect with people so much that I just put that thought aside and go.
So you're a sales consultant, or
I'm a sales coach.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So how often does sales and marketing mix? Is it the same, or is it completely separate?
It is not completely separate anymore, especially for the solopreneur, because we're everything in our business. Right.
Because you can't sell to somebody who's not there, right? So you have to market first.
That's right. And I'm a big believer in your marketing ought to feed your sales. Specifically, when you're a solopreneur, when you're a small business, if you're under $20 million in revenue, then, it's not about branding. It's about sales promotion. right? That's what our marketing ought to do, is feed our sales conversations. And so it's, I'm not a full-blown marketing expert by any means. I really narrowly niche to the sales conversations, but I understand that really understanding your sales message, it feeds your marketing messages. It feeds all of that. And I often refer my clients to the experts in the areas of marketing that they need, whether it's online, they're a local business, something else.
So being a connector is also key to what you do.
Yes.
And I think that's really important now, because the ability to connect with thousands of people is incredibly easy these days with, some of the tools out there. And building relationships is what Marion and I are discovering is more important in our business because of the nature of what we do. And, where you're streaming media, you're building shows, you're creating platforms for people that allow you to expand your brand, right?
Yes.
And so building relationships is going to be key to that. So how do you market, or how do you propose that we start thinking in terms of a sales and marketing effort where relationship is the key ingredient versus, just buy my stuff?
Right. Absolutely. People have to, there's that old saying in sales, people have to know how much you care before they care how much you know.
Yes.
And that's what that's about. It's about making sure we're really making those connections. I really feel like at my core, no matter what part of my business I'm working in, what I am is a connector. I'm either connecting people to other people or to ideas that can grow their business. And that's key especially for solopreneurs and really small businesses. They have to connect to the people who are going to buy their services. They have to be there in a way of service. My entire business is built on the idea that selling equals serving. And so how are we going to serve our potential clients? How are we going to serve our clients once they're our clients? And our marketing has to support that all along the way.
I get a big reaction when I ask people, how do you serve the world? Instead of saying, what do you do for a living? I'll say, how do you serve the world? And they look at me like, oh,
I've never thought about that.
I serve it this way. Yeah. And it makes them feel better. They stand taller and they're ready to,
Absolutely.
So that's good. Good. I love that. Let's all start thinking about how we serve instead of what are we going to sell them.
Absolutely true. One of the areas of my business, I have 2 or 3 affiliate relationships, but the one that's closest to my heart is the one that totally embraces that service platform and that service idea. It's called Legal Shield, and it's about protecting families and small businesses with legal services and identity theft. And that's why it's my favorite, because it is all about selling equals serving, not just here's a product or, this is my newest lotion or potion that works. Or
there's a goal in mind as you serve this product up, right?
Yes. And, we show up for each other in the world as business people in ways that, we don't always think of service. Marion, like you were saying, people go, oh, but if we take in that idea and really let it feed our conversations and our relationship building, then it's a whole new ball game.
It really is.
So how do people get a hold of you, Lynn? What's the best way that they can get a hold of you and contact you?
Absolutely. I'm happy to give out an email. You can find me at LIN at Indie Sales Coach, INDIE salescoach.com. Lynn at indiesalescoach.com.
Excellent.
Yeah.
There we go. Did he spell it right?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Excellent. I'm not a typist, but I can type once in a while. Well, this has been very informative, Lynn, and I really appreciate the time and effort being here today and sharing some valuable information with, this audience. And as you know, this will be streaming live on futuremediaassociation.com and all of our shows. And we're continuing to grow, and we share these again and again out there in the ether. And it's amazing to see what happens after the show is broadcast and where it actually goes and who picks it up and who watches it later on. So it's
fun,
fascinating to see that. So we'll love to have you on the show again and again and share this valuable information.
Thanks so much. It's great to be here. Thank you for having me. And thank you for letting me have time to get here from my lab, which I'd love it if people came over there too. We're Success Partners Live, living outside the box, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m.
Wow, every day, huh?
Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern. Yeah.
9 a.m. Eastern.
For 30 minutes. We also are a 30-minute show.
Excellent.
And sometimes it goes over.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be back again every Tuesday and Thursday right here. At what time, Russ? 8:30 Central Time, right? Yes. Exactly. And it's not Central Standard Time anymore. It's Central Daylight Savings Time. CDT now. It's like, okay, forget everybody.
Just call it Central.
Yeah.
But we'll be back. You come and see us again.